Here is something happening in your business every single week, whether you are paying attention to it or not. Your customers are telling you exactly what they love, exactly what annoys them, and exactly what they wish you would offer next. The trouble is that they are telling you in 10 different places at once. A 5-star Google review here, a grumble buried in a WhatsApp thread there, a survey export in your downloads folder, a support email from Tuesday, a comment on Instagram, a note your front desk staff scribbled on a receipt. Each piece is a gift. Together they are noise because nobody has time to read all of it. So the patterns stay invisible and you end up running on gut feeling and whatever the last loud customer happened to say. Today I want to show you a calmer way. Not hiring a research agency and not reading everything line by line, but using an AI assistant to gather that scattered feedback into clear themes, tell you the top complaints and top praises, surface what customers keep asking for, and flag anything urgent. One honest note first. This is directional, not a scientific survey, and some of it is your customers' personal data. So keep it in tools you trust and check the AI's claims against the real quotes it proposes, you verify, you decide. Let us start with where most owners are stuck and call it level 0. Your feedback is not missing, it is scattered, and scattered is almost as bad as missing. Think about where a single week of it lives. Reviews on Google and Facebook, WhatsApp threads and text messages, emails and support tickets. A survey that handed you a spreadsheet of free text answers nobody has opened. And the things people say out loud to your staff that never get written down at all. Every one of those channels holds a real signal, but they never meet in one place. No single human reads all of them, so the same complaint can show up 15 times across 5 channels and still feel like a one-off because you only ever caught it once. The result is that your most honest, most useful business intelligence paid for with your customers' actual attention just evaporates. Not because you do not care, but because it never lands somewhere a pattern can appear. What good insights look like? Before we touch a tool, get clear on what a good read of your feedback actually looks like, because an assistant is only as useful as the target you give it. A useful summary has 4 qualities. First, it is themed, comments grouped into a handful of clear topics like pricing, wait times, staff, or product quality, instead of a raw wall of text. Second, it is ranked. It tells you which themes come up most, so you can separate what matters to many customers from one loud voice. Third, it is evidenced. Each theme comes with a couple of real example quotes, so you can see the actual words and trust the label. And fourth, it is actionable. It points at something you could actually do, not just a vague mood. Themed, ranked, evidenced, and actionable. That is what good looks like. And naming it out loud is what lets you tell an assistant exactly what to produce. Brief the AI on your feedback. Here is the shift that makes this work. You do not paste a heap of messages in and say, "What do you think?" because a vague request gives you a vague, confident-sounding answer you cannot check. Instead, you brief it the way you would brief a sharp new analyst on their first day. You tell it where the feedback came from, what you want out of it, and that you want evidence. It sounds like this. Here are 120 Google reviews and survey answers from my cafe over the last 3 months. Group them into themes. Tell me the top 3 complaints and the top 3 praises, with a rough count of how often each comes up. List any products or services customers are asking for. Flag anything urgent, like a safety or hygiene issue. And for every theme, give me 2 real example quotes so I can verify it. That last line, asking for the quotes, is what turns a black box into something you can check. What to ask it to do. Now the 5 specific jobs, the ones worth asking for every single time, because together they turn a pile of comments into a briefing you could act on this afternoon. 1. Group the comments into themes, so 10 scattered mentions of slow service become a single labeled topic. 2. Tell you the top complaints and the top praises, each with a rough frequency, so you can see what is common versus rare. 3. Surface the ideas, the products, services, hours, or options customers keep asking for, which is often where your next bit of revenue is hiding. 4. Flag anything urgent, the safety, hygiene, or angry customer issues that need a human today. And 5. Draft a short, plain summary you can paste straight into a message to your team. Theme, rank, ideas, urgent, summary. Those 5 asks are the whole job, and you can copy them word for word, one cafe, start to finish. Let me make that concrete with a made-up example. Picture a small neighborhood cafe run by an owner we will call Priya, a stand-in for many owners I speak to. Over 3 months, she has gathered feedback without really using it. 40 Google reviews, a survey with about 80 written answers, and a folder of WhatsApp messages from regulars. She copies it all into one document in a tool she trusts and briefs her AI assistant with the 5 asks. It comes back with a real briefing. The top praise, mentioned again and again, is her staff being warm and remembering regulars. The top complaint, showing up around 30 times, is the wait during the lunch rush. A theme she had not noticed. 11 separate people asked for oat milk and more vegetarian options. And one urgent flag. 2 recent reviews mention a wobbly outdoor chair. For each point, it gives her the actual quotes. Priya reads those quotes herself, confirms the wait time complaint is real, fixes the chair that day, adds oat milk, and shares the summary with her team. That is level 1, chaos versus order. Now let me name the real difference this makes. It is about turning feedback you were ignoring into decisions you can stand behind. Level 0 is chaos. The feedback is spread across reviews, chats, emails, and surveys, so no one reads it all. The same complaint hides in plain sight, and you make decisions on the last thing someone happened to shout at you. Level 1 is order. The same feedback is gathered, grouped into themes, ranked by how often it comes up, backed by real quotes, and handed to you as a short summary. Your job shrinks from reading 1,000 messages to reviewing a one-page briefing and checking the quotes behind it. You are still fully in charge. The AI does not change anything, contact anyone, or make a call. It reads the pile you never had time for and hands you the shape of it, so your attention goes to deciding, not to hunting for the pattern. You verify against the quotes. This part is not optional, so I want to be direct about it. An AI summarizing text can miscount, and it can occasionally invent a theme that sounds plausible but is not really there, so you never take its numbers as gospel. The safeguard is the reason you asked for quotes. First, for any theme you are about to act on, read the example quotes and confirm they actually say what the label claims. Second, treat every frequency as rough. About 30 mentions tells you a thing is common, not that it is precisely 30, and common is enough to make a decision. Third, if a theme has no convincing quote behind it, ignore it, because that is exactly where a made-up pattern hides. And fourth, keep the personal stuff, names, numbers, anything private in a message, inside tools you trust. The AI does the patient reading. You hold the judgment about what is real, what this buys you. So what do you actually get out of this? 3 things. First, you finally hear all of your customers, not just the loudest one this week, because the quiet, repeated feedback across every channel finally gets counted instead of lost. Second, you get direction, a ranked list of what to fix and what to keep doing, plus a short list of things customers are literally asking to buy, often the cheapest growth you will find all year. Third, you get hours of your life back, because the reading that would have taken a full day becomes a briefing you scan over a coffee. You are not handing your judgment to a robot. You are just refusing to let your customers' most honest feedback pile up unread while keeping every real decision firmly yours. A simple way to start. If you want to try this, here is the low-effort way to begin, and it is smaller and safer than you think. Do not try to gather every channel at once. Pick one source you already have, say your last 50 Google reviews or the written answers from one survey, and paste them into a tool you trust. Give it the 5 asks: theme, rank, ideas, urgent, and a short summary with example quotes for each. Then read what it gives you and check the quotes yourself. That is it. One source, read the new way, with you verifying. You will feel how much reading it takes off your plate and why the check the quotes step matters before you act. Get comfortable on one small source, and widening it to all your feedback will feel obvious instead of daunting. The honest limits. And because I promised no hype, here are the honest limits, and please take them seriously. This is not a scientifically rigorous survey. It is a smart reading of the feedback you happen to have, which skews toward the people who bothered to write in. So treat it as directional, not the final word on every customer. The AI is estimating counts by reading, so its frequencies are approximate, which is why roughly is the right word, and the quotes are the real check. It can, on a bad day, present a theme that is not truly there, so a claim with no quote behind it gets ignored. And it has no idea about your duty to protect personal information, so keeping the data in trusted tools stays entirely with you. Use it to gather, to group, to rank, and to draft, and keep the deciding, the verifying, and the safeguarding in your hands. Do that, and it earns its place. Quick recap. Let me pull it together. Level 0 is customer feedback scattered across reviews, chats, emails, and surveys, so nobody reads it all and the patterns stay invisible. Level 1 is briefing an AI assistant inside a tool you trust to group that feedback into themes, rank the top complaints and praises with rough frequency, surface what customers are asking for, flag anything urgent, and draft a summary for your team, always with real example quotes so you can verify. The 5 asks are theme, rank, ideas, urgent, and summary. You check every theme against its quotes, treat the counts as rough, and keep personal data in tools you trust. What you get is every customer heard, a clear direction on what to fix and what to sell next, and a day of reading turned into a briefing over coffee. If your customer's feedback is scattered across a dozen places and going to waste, this is the workflow that turns it into a clear picture you can act on. And we made a free step-by-step course that walks you from level 0 to level 1 in plain language. No jargon and no technical background needed. It shows you how to get an AI assistant onto your own computer, working with your own files in tools you control, so you can try this on one real source of your own feedback instead of taking my word for it. Head to aelisavierstein.com/level1 and take the free course. Do it once, run one batch of your real feedback the new way, and feel the difference for yourself. And if you want more of this, practical AI workflows built for SME owners, honest and no hype, then subscribe. Level 1 is right there. Go take the step.